Hey, it's Jacqueline here with your 2022 market forecast for Northumberland County. This is actually part two of a two-part series. If you haven't already done so, I'd suggest that you go back and watch 2021 year in review that I did last week. This video is going to focus on what I'm forecasting for the 2022 real estate season right here in Northumberland County. So with that in mind, let's get started. Of course, the question on everyone's mind is, when will the bubble burst? And again, in terms of, although I am not a fortune teller, I do have a lot of experience in indicating what's going to happen right here in Northumberland County. And for that, I'm going to talk a little bit about how we got to where we are. A lot of people know that we've had a significant population growth in Northumberland, with people migrating out of the urban areas of Toronto and moving out to the east in terms of looking for a quieter rural life, very much impacted by what's been happening with the pandemic. The other side of it that a lot of people aren't talking about is that we really have a significant issue, both locally as well as federally, when it comes to overall supply of housing. So to put it into perspective, Scotiabank actually recently did some research on it that found that Canada actually has the lowest number of housing units per 1,000 residents than any G7 country. That's incredible when you think about it, that we're really unfortunately falling behind when it comes to G7 countries in providing affordable housing and housing in general to meet our population. So to put that into perspective, in Canada, we would actually have to build 10 times the number of housing units that we are currently building a year for the next 10 years to even make a dent in our current situation. And again, that really doesn't factor in the overall population growth on top of it. So at the end of the day, the real significant issue of what we are finding, both on a federal as well as a local level, is an imbalance in the market. We just simply do not have enough housing units to meet the demand. As a result of that, that is what unfortunately drives the pricing up to what we've seen the last 2 years. In the last 2 years in Northumberland, we've actually seen the average sale price increase by about 25% per year. Now, again, to put that in perspective, previous to that, we would average around 10% a year. So again, the average sale price is significantly up the last 2 years. So the question on everybody's mind is, what's going to happen this particular year? When it comes to the overall average sale price, I do not think we are going to get to the same numbers that we saw the last 2 years, which is actually a good thing when you think about it, as those numbers in terms of a 29% appreciation a year just isn't sustainable. I also don't think we're ever going to see our market decrease in value. Realistically, we are likely to see our market fall somewhere between the two, likely in and around the 15% range for next year in terms of and this year for where we're going to see the local marketplace go. Another question people are asking me a lot is, what is the impact in terms of any government intervention that's going to be coming in this year? And again, if you're not aware, the government is currently looking at a few different options. Of course, we are likely to see interest rates go up, but they're also looking at putting in various taxes in place, such as the most common one on the table that we've talked about is the underused housing. And really what that means is that what they're trying to do is tax housing that's not currently being lived in. So those are commonly going to be examples such as investments. A lot of the time it's going to be coming from for investment. And realistically, it just makes good sense. If we have people that are unable to find affordable housing, we cannot be a country that allows for housing units just to sit there vacant and completely unused. So that really just makes good sense. However, realistically, because we're still dealing with the issue of supply, it's going to perhaps make a bit of a softening in the market, but it's really not going to have a drastic impact, especially on a local community such as Northumberland, which doesn't see that type of foreign investment as some of the urban centers do. So overall, when it comes to Northumberland real estate, we're still going to see our market appreciate quite a bit this year. I think one of the changes that we are going to see compared to what we've seen the last 2 years is the frenzy of the bidding war slow down. Again, we're already starting to see signs of that in our local community. Buyers are simply just not coming down in the same numbers of what they used to. We're seeing agents price properties more reflective of what they should be priced at as market value, as opposed to using the underpricing strategy. I also think we're not likely going to see quite the same volume of housing units sell. Again, I think we're going to see some people who are going to really just stay home in terms of not moving. Again, a lot of the problem we have locally is that it's all well and good to sell your house and you'll get a fantastic price, but then the major question is, where will you go? So I think we're going to see a lot of people continue to make improvements to their homes, perhaps do additions if they need something as it relates to perhaps accessibility, make some of those changes, as opposed to selling their house to move to a house that has something else that they're looking for. So that's it in terms of kind of what I'm foreseeing happening in 2022. If you have any questions in terms of the impact on your investments or about the market in general, I always say I'm just a phone call away. So feel free to drop us a DM anytime. Take care.